Gimana caranya belajar bahasa Inggris dari awal sampai lancar. Okay, because we talk about English today, let's try to speak in English as well, right? Are you ready? Today we will have some strategy about learning English. As you know, this is how I speak. I'm not fluent enough, but it is enough to work with a remote company from the US, UK, whatever its company is. So before that, we will define our goal when we learning about English. Usually there are three goals: get really good at writing, and next one is get good at reading, because we will read a source code documentation which is documented in English, and also speaking has the tools that we need to have when we communicate, when meet with people, anything. Speaking is the really hard one, because English is not our mother language, and actually we can do mimic the accent of native speaker, but I find it really difficult because I don't speak in English since I kid. But let's get to the point. The first one is writing. How to master writing in English? Just write a lot, write in English. But if you want to strategies how to learn it, I have some tips for you. To get better at writing is can get use a help from AI, artificial intelligence. We have a lot of massive AI product available in the market right now. There's also some free one, also the paid one. You choose whatever you want. But as my preference, the one and only that I like is Google Translate. Google Translate is actually just AI that translate text from some language to other language, which is in this case from Bahasa Indonesia to English. The most easiest AI to use and the most used by anyone who work online, work remotely. The one that I personally use. The next one is this is the tools that I really like. Help me a lot improving my writing skills, which is Wordtune. So sometimes we have an idea and we know how to write it in English, but sometimes we need to get some power about that word, so our message can deliver correctly by the people that we talk to. And Wordtune is exactly solve that issue. We can have some phrase, have some sentence, and then we can rewrite it to English. But it's not free. There are a free version, but if you need to use it, you have to register with your credit card. So make sure to have credit card available to register to this service. Okay, go to the next one. This is the new one that actually available for free, but if you want to use it more, you need to pay it, and this is quite difficult at first if you don't know how to interact with AI, which is in this case we will use GPT-3 AI from OpenAI. It's basically prediction model, so we can give some input to this AI and then expect the output. So this is useful when you want to, let's say, send an email or reply to the message from Slack, from whatever platform that you talk with your coworker. The most important thing to get better at writing is just practice. So where do you do practice writing? For myself, getting better when writing in English, just write a blog post. We are programmer, we are software developer. Software is just not writing code, it's also documenting our code, the behind the scene, the structure, the idea, what problem that we solve, what approach that we use to solve that problem. You write it, you do personal branding with blog posts, you can get a viewer. The other thing that I think when we start a new project, open source project or the closed source project at your company, which is writing GitHub README, make sure that you write that README in English. That's a good place to start practicing writing English. And then to the next step is reading. So reading, as for me, to get better at reading, just read. In our industry as a programmer, we need to read a lot and a lot of things, or most often we will read a documentation of a framework that we use, API that we used, and a lot more. But what if you have a question that you doesn't have this skill set to read better? Before I go to the work, before I have the opportunity to work, I need to have skill set to read. So where do I practice? For this, actually, as for me, I really like to read blog posts, and a lot of blog posts, newspaper, and also novel. And we can read that everywhere. The most interesting place that my go to when I want to read something is Hacker News. As programmer, the most important website that you need to visit is Y Combinator Hacker News. There's a lot of people sharing a good thought, a good blog post, and good and hate comment on the Hacker News thread. That is a gold mine that you can get a lot of insight how people actually write in English. You can read from the blog post. Medium, one of my favorite place to read something in English, and also Twitter. Twitter is like since 2 years and 3 years ago I started to get active in social media that actually programmers from the US and everywhere actually that they do a social media. It's from Twitter. If you do in Facebook, you will just connect with your circle, with your friend, your family, your colleagues, like that. That's enough for reading. The next thing is to speaking. So this is really hard actually. As for me, for now, yeah, you can hear how I talk in English, and maybe you don't hear my sound or my voice clear enough what actually I'm trying to say. But yeah, this kind of English is enough for you to work with native speaker. To get this level, you actually need to do some practice. One of the practice that I do is actually just talk in English. So how you do that? Before you talk in English, you need to have some collection of dictionary, the word inside your head, and how people actually use it. So to collect that information, how I do it, just watch a movie. That's my favorite thing, and also maybe you should too. Yeah, I think everyone loves seeing or watching movie. For me, I watch Netflix a lot because there's no movie theater in my city, so I only have on Netflix. But that's good start. One of the things that you can do is just start a podcast. Podcast is really good way for you to practice in English. If you don't want to do that, you can start to talk in English with your wife, with your mom, with your kids, or with your friend. But if your family, your wife, your kid, your friend, no one talk in English, yeah, you're dead end. No, but actually you can talk with yourself. Just record video or record an audio. Have some scripted text that, let's say, a teacher asks something to student answer the teacher, and all that kind of stuff of talking. You simulate them, and you read it. So that's how you can do practice. The fastest way to actually practice in English is actually do it in the meeting. Because as for me, when I got my first job, I can't talk in English. The first time we do a meeting gone pretty bad because I can't talk actually. I have written down. So when you join to the new company, you will have some meeting and introduction of yourself. So when that time, my first time came into the team, and then we have a stand-up meeting, and we have some session for me to introduce myself. I can't speak any word, even though I have been writing down what I want to say. But I don't have a mentality to talk. But yeah, that's really bad because I never practiced before. But because I need to be professional, yeah, it forced me to learn. It forced me to practice. That's how you do. I have some tip for you. The first one, before you do a meeting, make sure that you have written down the thing that you want to say. When we join a company, usually they have like stand-up meeting or any meeting. You write what you want to talk. That's the first step. And the next one, fuck grammar, man. Grammar is important when you work, but don't make a grammar stop you to talk. Because at first we're not perfect. When we child, we start to work, we fall down a lot. And when you first time talking English, you will have a wrong grammar a lot. Like me, if you hear my voice, you hear how I talk in English, it's a mess. It's wrong, all the grammar wrong. But as my experience, I can communicate my message clearly to my coworker. So that's the most important thing. Just talk, and then along the way you fix your grammar by use help of AI. So this is the interesting one when you practice in office, when you work. So in a meeting, there's usually someone have some idea of something, or your manager have some task for you and have some. This is actually the fun one. Debate the opinion of other. This is crazy, but I find it's fun. When we debate other people thought, and then we don't know what they say. So yeah, it's you will have some interesting conversation. So that conversation will help you getting easier to getting a lot of more conversation. Do debate opinion when in the meeting room. Don't just agree with someone when they say something. Disagree with someone. Maybe if you do this often, you will get sacked from your job. But yeah, this is to get adrenaline when you practice in English. So the perfect way to learn in English is by working with company that use English. If you haven't worked yet, you can do this at your home, with your wife, with your kid, or with yourself, as I said before. Fuck it, just do it. Don't make excuse, because you will not get any better if you just silent, if you just don't talk. There's a lot of English academy this day, and you need to pay to learn. No, learn by yourself. We have a YouTube video, we have some free ebook, we have Google Translate that actually can translate, and Google Translate can give us an example how to say it. So use that. That's enough. Okay, that's it for this video. I don't know if you understand, but hopefully this is useful for you. Thank you. See you later.